Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazzinbob, and no Mel today. It's going to be an interesting episode. We just have two people, but let me introduce the second one. Gribblejones, one of our raiders in Swamp. He's been raiding with me since Phase 3, and he's one of two Thunder Furies we've crafted in the raid, and he's been our third and tank slash DPS, and he's been the main tank a couple times when people have to take off. And so, welcome to the show, Gribblejones.
Hey Bob, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate the invite to this.
Yeah, appreciate you. And we were talking in the show right before, or in the pre-show right before, but I didn't realize that you were kind of on the outs with the game and possibly going to be quitting soon if you hadn't found us in Swamp.
Yeah, it was really difficult to find someone who wanted a warrior. Warrior has always been one of those like skill gap classes. Never really played warrior in Classic, so I was like coming in full green, and it was really difficult.
Warrior's hard to be good at. Yeah, warrior's hard to be good at.
Yeah, it was extremely difficult finding groups. A lot of the times in earlier phases, people were log checking and all this craziness, and for level 25 man content, it was just kind of absurd,
I mean, I logged checked, but not like people were weird with logs. They're like, if you're not, 90 parsing or higher, you're not in, but they just don't understand logs. I just looked to see people had done the fights, and it wasn't like a full gray parse, across the whole dungeon. But people don't realize the caliber of your raid is also the caliber of your chances to parse. You'll have really good people that'll get 99s in an 80 raid, but that's not the norm. I mean, normally, you have to be with a really good group to have a really good parse. And a lot of people don't get that, and they just don't understand parsing.
I agree with you 100%. I'm really glad a lot of that parse culture has gone down a bit. I mean, it still exists for a lot of those sweatier groups that are trying to push for speed and stuff. But like, to be honest, it's been a lot more casual once we hit 60, and the gear is just so abundant now.
The gear everywhere. Like, I'm a rogue. I've got all kinds of different off pieces. I can't even imagine what a poor warrior's trying to do in SOD right now.
I just did a purge. I had way too many things in my bank and stuff, and I just purged like 20 items, I think, just like old shit that you think you need and you really don't.
I've got shit like the staff that lets me breathe underwater and shit. I've got all kinds of weird shit, even back from Phase 1. Then I've kept all the stupid, like, reeky-dink things, because you find out later, like the rogue trinket that you use to help priests back in like Phase 2. Turns out if you had that on, you could pickpocket Swift Thistle. I mean, I'm like afraid to throw anything away, because I'm just like, well, what if this does something, So it's been kind of funny. Oh man. But yeah, so guys, I'd like to start the show off by thanking our tank patrons in Croxford, Turtle Whale, and Braxton. I want to mention that we stream the show live on twitch.tv/Blazzinbob. That's BLAZZINBOB. If you would like to join our Discord or see any of our links, you can just go to warcraftreloaded.com and they will be there. If you'd like to leave a voicemail, you can do it at 866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. We're going to do the comment of the week. Then we'll do some voicemails. Then I'm not really going to cover much of the news. It's not really, I mean, the news mostly happened, because we haven't done the show for 2 weeks. The news basically happened last week and not this past week, so it's not really pertinent. But we'll talk about some of the stuff that we're just gonna discuss and kind of a off the cuff episode where we're just gonna kind of riff and just see what we talk about, and that's gonna be the show for today. Let's start off with the comment of the week because it was pretty spot on, and I thought it was hilarious because he definitely knows me at this point. So this is from serotonin dopamine. Serotonin dopamine. You can always tell how a rating has been going each week depending on how Bob and Mel interactions are on the pod. Mel gives us normies information in a general sense, and Bob is always specific about their raid and gets defensive when Mel is giving the general information. When raids are going well, Mel and Bob are aligned in giving normies information. And this is so true. I get very defensive just because anytime there's problems, they ultimately fall on mine and Kill9's shoulders, and it's a tough feeling, and you feel like you've let your team down, and it eats at you. So you want to explain every bit of it and explain your thought process, and it's something I probably don't need to do, but I'm gonna try to work on it. So thank you for that comment. But I don't know if you've noticed the same thing, Gribble.
I mean, yeah, there are moments in raid where I feel like morale is down. I'm a pretty simple person, just individual. Like if we clear the raid, I'm happy. I don't really care about wiping, losing world buffs. None of that stuff really matters to me. I mean, if we can do the raid smoother, that's awesome. If we can work as a team better, that's awesome. But I mean, I'm bare minimum. We just clear the raid. That's cool. I'm cool with that, So
yeah, but I mean, yeah, some pretty good. We did black the other day. We were super scared about that. We dropped down to 20 people. We did black, but we did it swimmingly. And I think we only wiped once when we were doing the practice run on the two Drakes. And then we unbooned and
had a
dropped
really smooth black.
Yeah.
We had a really smooth black. I feel like this week's going to be a little more difficult
with red,
because of some positioning with Chromag. But I mean, that's nothing we can't fix. You know what I mean? We're going to eventually get adjusted to it, and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because you are changing up a little bit of the raid. Raspberries is in chat saying that he lets you die on twins and it made him sad.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I've died a few times tanking that. It's a little scary. The damage is a little high, yeah. But it's nothing crazy. It's fine.
Yeah, well, with Warrior, it's so hard because you have to get that, you have to hit shield block constantly. It's absolutely absurd. To be uncrushable and stuff.
We have enough defense gear now where we don't have to worry about that as much, but
really?
It does make you tankier. Yeah. I mean, I'm at 456 defense rating right now. I'm way over cap and I'm uncrushable at this point.
Nice.
It's really just like taking a shadow flame and then a tick of the buff of the damage, and if your health's already low, you don't have a cooldown popped, you're it's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think our raid is super healthy too. I mean, people keep coming back, and I think the only reason that is because me and Kill9 both run it. Like I do most of the behind the scenes stuff, getting raids set up, talking to people, making sure everybody's happy, uh, trying to make the big calls on if we're going to do 20 or 25, like those are what I do. And then Kill9 during the raid runs almost all of the raid. I'll throw stuff in, but he's basically raid leading throughout the raid. And I've done it throughout, SOD, but it's been great having a teammate, that I could share that burden with, because doing it all, I would have burnt out by now. And Kill9 is like, I wouldn't do it all, so it's been really good having a partner that I get along with so well. And, we work very well together. So that's been a save, but I think people really like our raid. It seems to be pretty good, but I always feel uncomfortable, like I'm doing stuff wrong constantly, and scared I'm making the wrong choice. Like the only reason that I started running raids was I had Crispix, Michael Sand, and then 3 other people that I know here in Kansas City that I've known for years, that I wanted to get in the same 10-man group. So I started running that. And then Winky used to run the beer league. It was another 10-man group. I took over that because he just kind of disappeared. And then from that point on, I was just running 2 raids until we went up to 20. And then I was running 20. And now I've met people like you and Raspberrios and so many others. And now people count on me to make that raid happen every week, and that's what I get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, so when I make decisions on the raid, I'm trying to make it based on what I think everybody mostly wants. You know what I mean? That's why I ask people so much, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? It's because I'm trying to make it fun for everybody, and that's my goal. Whereas a lot of raid leaders, I feel like their goal is their goals. They're gonna get the legendaries first. They're gonna get this first. They're gonna, like, and I just don't operate like that. And I think people do see that for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like we have a great squad. As far as like making the wrong decision, I mean, no one's it's opinion based, right? So
Oh
no
yeah,
one's gonna be right always. So honestly, man, I feel like you shouldn't, but I appreciate the fact that you do. Like this raid is probably one of the healthiest raids I've ever been in. I've been in top rating guilds, I've been in speed run guilds, I've been in all this stuff, and you're just a number sometimes. And yeah, the fact that you even allowed me to get a Thunder Fury on the second one was massive to me. I thought I was gonna have to start my own pugs and just hard res it at one point.
yeah,
So
yeah. I really wanted Thunder Fury too, but I did not want to be one of those guys that takes it. And if I wasn't going to tank part of the time, I couldn't justify it to myself until you and Kef got him. And then I was going to be third, and Hellbjorn was going to be fourth. Hellbjorn, I was going to give it to Hellbjorn, but he said, no, you take it. But then we just decided, there's so many MC pugs and stuff going on. Like, the people that want Thunder Fury run them. And, with my dog passing, I haven't been playing as much because he was always sitting next to me. And so it reminds me, like, playing during the day of that. So, and I don't drink during the day. When I drink at night, kind of forget about it. So,
yeah, it's been helping you
and
process it a little better.
yeah, and
Just being able to play and stuff.
I got all of you guys to keep my attention, but playing during the day, I used to do that a lot, and I just haven't been doing that as much. So I haven't been doing as much. I've just been doing, the raids and I'm doing a lot of PvP at night with you guys, but yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
MC's
just
not
didn't
going
want to be that
anywhere.
guy. Yeah.
MC's not going anywhere, man. So it's always going to be available. We can always do. I think we do two groups like off days in the guild. There's like
Yep.
two groups that do it. So
I know Ven
we can
does
always set up a
one,
third,
and I don't, who does the other one? Is it Bobka? I think Bobka runs one and Ven runs one, right?
I don't know who the other one is, but I know there's like multiple ones that go, and
I think
they're always
Huge
like
Newts
talking
runs
about
one
hosting.
too.
Yeah, I think Newts. I think Newts is one of them too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I see those. I could jump in, but I have literally everything from MC, and all of those runs, have people that have been running and are prioed, the Thunder Fury. So can't jump in those and try to cut. You know what I mean? So I'm not really
No, yeah, I
worried
agree.
about it. It was fun, it was fun crafting you and Kefs, and it feels like they're part mine too. So
Another thing to remember is there's going to be weapons that are going to be better. So like I wouldn't stress
definitely.
about it too much, you know.
Oh, I'm
So
not.
like I think even the PvP weapons are going to be better. So
Yeah, it would just be a cool thing to tick off the list. I had a legendary in WoW. It'd just be a neat thing, but I'm not worried about it. I can always go back. I mean, we'll be able to 2-man binding runs, not 2-man, like 10-man binding runs when it's all said and done. Like once we're in AQ and stuff. So I can still craft it for fun.
yeah, you're 100% right. We could totally just 10-man those two bosses real quick for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if it was just Heat 1. And we know it drops on Heat 1 because our second Heat 1, we got both. So
yeah, it's so true. Yeah, and it's crazy. We saw both bindings in a single run. You know, it's
both
really rare.
times. Yeah, both times we saw both bindings.
Yeah, it's really rare. It's really rare. A lot of people just have one. You know, they're missing like the other one, and I think that's been going on too. A lot of the organizing there in those groups too that we're having, where it's like one person's getting this one, the other is getting that one complete too.
Yep. But yeah, all in all,
Yeah,
the
for sure.
raid's been great. But besides that, PvP has been awesome. PvP has been so good. Like, so they had the stupid thing. The last time we did the podcast, Alliance was just throwing games so they could have 5-minute losses to get 2 marks, right? And then they took that away and they made the change to where now the winner gets 4 marks and the loser gets 1 mark just for losing. But then they can get 3 more marks. Every 600 resources gives you another mark. So at 600, now you have 2 marks. 1200, now you have 3 marks. At 1800, you get 4 marks, same as the winning team. So if you have a 2000 to 1900 loss, you get the same 4 marks that the winning team got, which has been great because people fight it out. And we've had so many good fights. No, it's very hard now to tell if someone's a pre-made because there's 5-man pre-mades that'll be popping lips and popping pots and doing all the things that you would see in a pre-made, but they're not a pre-made, and you just can't tell as easy because most people are on one server now, and so people actually try, and then you'll realize, oh wow, our little 5-man group, I don't know what the other groups were made up of, but we just beat a pre-made. They're all the same guild. Crap. So it's made people try and realize that they can beat pre-mades. It doesn't mean they have to lose. And so that's been really neat.
Yeah, I feel like they need to fix the queues a little more, or like force lock people into creating alliance again, because it's been like 14-minute queues, and that's the only downside to it all. Like it has been really fun, especially grouping with a lot of the guildies, and Bobka will do like full pre-made, and we steamroll, and it feels really good because everybody knows their role. People set flags, people peel off healers. It's like shit that needs to happen that doesn't. So
What's crazy is that if you look at PvP and our PvP servers, you got 52. Well, I guess it would group us all. So we just have to look at them all. So if you look at everything US, all right. So that's who we would queue against. Is 54% Alliance and 45% Horde. So we should be getting faster queues. The Alliance just aren't queuing. Like, we need to somehow incentivize Alliance to queue. That, or they can do the whole thing they did back in TBC, where it just lets Horde queue to Horde. And
yeah, I like that. I want to fight a Shami. I want to see what Alliance are crying so much about.
Yeah, and I want Alliance to fight some Paladins so they can see the like that their class is annoying too. That would be, I think it'd be good to open up eyes, but that's what they did the last time. Like, they gave Alliance Happy Meals too when they would queue. So if they won, they would get a little bag with some potions, maybe some materials in it. It was kind of fun to see what you could get. But they need to incentivize Alliance to queue more. I think that would help a lot. But
I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do after next phase. Because if they release the weapons, there's no real reason to still PvP except for just pure enjoyment. So there has to be some kind of thing they implement that's past Warlord. Like maybe some arena, but I don't know if it's too late in the game to kind of throw that in there.
it is a little late to kind of throw that in there.
I feel like it'd be really unbalanced though. Like, Boomkin Priest, like that team's gonna stomp kids.
Yeah.
Or even Pharaoh Priest, it's just like Tank Shami and any healer. Like, it's just gonna get real crazy.
Yeah, the tank stuff makes it a little hard, but I mean, you have to change up the way you play a little bit. But I mean, I can still take out tanks as a backstab rogue. You just have to bleed them. You have to play a little bit more defensively. Keeping their dead zone a little more, but it's a little weird.
Though. Spice it up. It would definitely spice up the game a little bit because I do enjoy arena. I'm not like a world rank for what I mean, but
yeah.
I can play.
I'd love rated battlegrounds more, just because it gives more classes opportunities. But who knows? I mean, we don't know how our arena would go at all in SOD, right?
It'd be crazy.
Everything's so different.
Crazy. Yeah, it'd be crazy. Triple DPS would be insane. Yeah,
it'd be interesting. It'd be. But I'd love to see rated battlegrounds for people, that are done with the rank 13 grind, but people that aren't could still do them. It would be that would be kind of cool. But people would gatekeep, doing rated battlegrounds require rank 14 type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say rated, but battlegrounds is like the heart of PvP and Classic. So I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. That would have to be a thing too, wouldn't it? If they throw an arena like that, like just a way to get the newer echelon of gear for PvP.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have to do it, but it'd be cool to have either.
At this point, I feel like everyone's going to have the sets. Everyone's going to have the weapons. The people who actually like care about their, damage in the next raid or being like top cutting edge situation. I feel like everyone's going to be doing that. So,
how have you felt about PvP? Because you've been doing a lot of the PvP with us too, and I mean, we win 90% of our games, man. It's nuts.
I mean, I like that they made it easier, and I don't. It's like I have mixed feelings about it for sure. I wasn't looking forward to the grind, so I do like the change in honor, but it feels like a lot of honor.
It's a lot.
It
And
feels like
why do we
it
have to have the
cuts it not only in
stopgaps?
half, but
Like I have to get 143,000 more honor today. Like I'm going from rank 12, 70%. I need 30% to get rank 13, and that's 334,000 honor. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, at least have smaller stopgaps. Like, I would like. I don't want to just have to know to know life the PvP. It's that part really sucks. But just doing PvP, just the feel. How have you felt about that? Like, have you been having a good time? Like, because I've been just having an absolute blast.
yeah, like I said, it's just a mixed bag there too for me. World PvP does not feel good. Um, I
Well,
run
you're a
solo a lot.
warrior. You're a warrior. A solo warrior in World PvP has never felt good, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm also not like PVE spec at all. Like you can ask Bob. I run around in prot a lot just to not die to stuff and be able to actually 1v1 something. But the battlegrounds do feel better. The team like effort, like it does feel like a better game. Classic originally in battlegrounds was like extremely balanced, and
Yeah, lots of
there were just some classes you
globals.
fought and you couldn't do anything to.
Yeah, you die in globals back in 2019 Classic after everybody started getting all of the gear. Like, I mean, I remember going in with my BIS Nax gear and switching to PvP spec and just, I mean, annihilating, globaling people in one global, just dead. And that I love that they added more health and added damage reduction for everybody rather than gating it behind resilience gear, because I hate that gate because it's no fun to play until you have the gear. I remember in Wrath making my rogue, and all I would do is just like try to stealth towers and stuff. Like I couldn't fight one-on-one because I had no resilience, and everybody else had, this was like halfway through, so everybody else had a ton. It just wasn't fun until you got up to that. So I like that everybody has the damage reductions and healing reductions. Oh, but yeah, so yeah, that's really we kind of like jumped ahead and did like what have we been doing lately, but that's all I've been doing. Have you been doing anything else besides raiding and PvP? I know you play a lot of tunes, so you've probably been doing the same thing just on the different tunes.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm officially in that raid log kind of window with my warrior, and yeah, I just been trying to get my alts there, mainly my priest. Priest feels really good and like in every spec, and it's a really strong. It's really strong right now. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, it's not like phase 2 Shadow Priest strong, but it's it's getting there. It's getting there. The spell power ramp up is real, and the damage is insane. Like my Shadow Priest is doing about the same or a little less than my warrior on some fights. So some fights he's doing a lot more.
Nice, nice. Well, let's listen to a couple voicemails. I'm hoping none of these are extreme. I can always cut them out later, but I did not listen to them prior, so let's just listen to them together.
Hello, Bob, Mel, it's Mega. Third time's charm, hopefully. Anyway, so my question is regarding Classic Plus and really who Blizzard should make it for. I mean, seen all types of interviews, at least I have. There's been huge discussions, and the question ultimately Blizzard has to answer first, who are they making it for? Are they making it just for the person that just likes the original game with almost no changes? Honestly, I think it's kind of boring. Are they making it for people that like SOD or more drastic changes? And this is one thing I will say, if they are going to do another season for testing, it needs to be on a separate client. Hot take, I think why we didn't get arenas, achievements, and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff is because it's on the same client as Era and Hardcore. How do I know that? Well, look what happened with Polearms and Druids. Enough said. Anyway, so how does Blizzard do that, though? Because the WoW player base is so divided. You can't say the majority, I think, anymore. Well, the majority of what context and what slice of WoW at this point. I mean, the people that like Wrath, TBC, Era, heck, even Kata or even Legion or even the modern game is wrapped into that at this point. I mean, heck, Legion was in 2015. That's over 10 years ago. So, and that's relatively new in regards to WoW, at least to the classic player base. So my big question is, how do you think Blizzard does that? Because when you say Classic Plus, who are they really making it for? Because SOD, you could argue, is SOD retail? No. I would argue it's more closer to TBC in difficulty, and class difficulty, it's a little bit closer to maybe Wrath with a little bit of Kata thrown in, if anything. But still, does that make it bad? No. I would make an argument. I think that SOD's just a better version of Classic. Hot take, but I believe it to be true. Anyway, I'm just asking this because I'm looking at it and I've seen everybody's take, or a lot of people's take on it, and I'm just like, these are all different games, guys. So my question is, how do you think Blizzard focuses and picks, we're going to start here, this is who we're making this for? Because without that, I don't know how Blizzard's going to pull it off, because real take, or real talk, honestly, what the hell even is Classic Plus at this point? Pardon my French. So that's pretty much my question. I hope you guys have a great show. This is the Mega Casual, signing out.
What do you think, Gribble? Who did they make it for?
I kind of agree with that, man. I mean, what is Classic Plus? Like, and SOD is in my opinion, definitely a better game than original Classic. Like, who wants to play with 18 warriors and one Shadow Priest that does like no fucking damage? Like, I don't know who wants to do that. Like,
that's where I'm at. Like, if they just release a fresh, like, Classic with just minimal changes, I'm out. It's as simple as that. I mean, and people say go play retail. No, it's a completely different game, different graphics, different feel, mounts everywhere that make your eyes go cross-eyed. I mean, it's a different game. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know who you make it for. I think they're screwed. I mean, I think they're honestly screwed. I don't know what they could have done differently. Having Kata and SOD separate was a really weird divider that really broke up the community. I've got more to say on this when we do our discussion, but I mean, it seems like the majority of people, at least content creators, are trying to follow Soda and doing hardcore, and some people are just quitting. I just watched Crix's video, and he's quitting WoW completely. And it's I don't think I think they're screwed. I don't know who they make it for.
Yeah, I mean, me neither, man. I don't know who they make it for either. I just take it as it comes. I'm not a big complainer. I'm more of like try to come up with some kind of solution or make it better. I mean, maybe I'm coping, but I don't know, man. Just enjoy what you have in front of you. I don't know what's so difficult about that for people. They always like want something better, or and back to the starting afresh. I feel like there's a lot of bandwagon people where they just like to play big populated games.
Yep.
And
then they leave,
and they enjoy that. They enjoy starting something fresh and seeing if they could become something better than someone else, or like. I don't really understand the big chase. I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I've always just done what I enjoyed. So
Yeah, the one for fresh is crazy, and then all these people. I remember when Season of Mastery started and the Road to Rag started, and you know, Gray's for days, good buddy of mine, Cargo's good buddy of mine too. I'm not talking shit on them. I'm pointing out what they do. Them and many other creators, talked all about how they were gonna raid hardcore all the way through Season of Mastery, and then as soon Duranosaur was super excited about this, but then as soon as Rag went down, everybody bounced, and they made Duran the guild leader. And I remember talking to him and him being like, "Man, this wasn't what I was expecting." Like, I mean, everybody was telling me we were gonna raid all the way through, and then as soon as the hype died down after we killed Rag on hardcore, everybody just left. And it was kind of a bummer for him. And it was just like, that's what Cargos and Grays do. Like, they want fresh. And they want to raid Molten Core once and then out on to the next fresh. And I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, it has to be a real booty clincher to do hardcore, especially raids. I can trust myself sometimes. It's hard for me to trust 39 other people that they're going to do what they need to do. And that's kind of why my career in hardcore ended. I was like playing it a little bit. I had fun. I was playing a paladin. And I can't do it.
I've never raided in hardcore, but I completed a 60 druid, a 60 rogue, I have a 58 warrior on the current hardcore servers and a 46 lock. But the 58 warrior I was going to get done, but then SOD came out and I never looked back. So yeah, but yeah, to answer the question, there is no answer. And I feel really bad for the devs because there's no good answer. And I just know what I will play and what I won't play. And if it's just slight changes, I won't play. That's what it boils down to. And that's okay. They got to look at the data and make it for the biggest crowd. And I've said forever, I mean, you want to keep, like, I've said this for like the past year. I think WoW Classic would be way more successful if they just ran a fresh, had Molten Core open for a month after, ran just a 3 month, and like Molten Core opens up after a month and a half, and then they just start a new fresh. I mean, that would probably be the most popular they would be constantly, because nobody seems to want to stay. Yeah, nobody wants to stay. Fresh. And they don't want hard raids. They don't want, because the raids keep ramping up. I mean, you've seen it across retail since the beginning. People leave, as the expansion goes on, and it's because they don't want the extra hard stuff. It's just the truth, and it's there in proof. So,
yeah, my opinion on this. I do like more difficult content. I
like to finish. Yeah, and I do like it. I could go either way. Like, I've been part of, really, really good raids, but I seem to enjoy the raids like Varg, all through Wrath. I was more progressed than my guild, but I had more fun in my guild, even though I was doing a lot bigger stuff on my alt, in like high-end GDKPs. But I like to get through it, and I like to finish, but so many people don't, and I think they'd be more successful if they just kept restarting, because that's what the private servers do. So
yeah, it's almost like, what am I going to get this time?
Yep. And I'm going to play through this time as this. I'm going to play through this time as this. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see what they decide. But let's listen to this next one.
That was a good topic, by the way. It was. I think that was a good topic, but it's nothing that we can answer. I'm not the majority, so
Yeah, we can just answer. I mean, what we think and what we see and what we feel the community wants, and content creators are better at it because we get more interaction with the community. But we all have different communities. Some people are in multiple of our communities, but it's still very different. So what my community wants and what Showbex wants, very different. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
just have to see. But here's the next one.
Hey all, first time, long time. Bob, I just wanted to say you sound like a warrior with the booming voice talent. Mel, looking beautiful as always. So here's my question. For the BWL hard modes, I really think they're going to put...
Okay, that was the ones that we did on the last episode, my bad. All right, so we only have one more then. Oh, what was that? Just heard something. Is the stream still up? Yeah. Looks good. Can you hear me, Gribble?
Yeah, of course I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, weird. I just had a weird blip. All right. Let's listen to this next one.
Hello, Mel and Bob. So I play Warlock on Living Flame after we moved across, and I'm just telling you, now I just finished a game of PvP in Arathi Basin, and I came across a Warlock in that group that uses the set bonus I think it's from Molten Core, to banish himself with an immolation aura on. So he stands next to the flag with this on, and no one can cap it for a whole minute. No one can do anything. We can't unbanish him. We can't do anything. So that's a little bit of a broken thing. But I discovered as well the new weapon you...
Whoa, hold on. Have you seen this behavior? Is this something they changed? Because this was sent in 3 days ago. Have you seen a lock do this?
What is it? Just banishing himself?
Yeah, with immolation aura on.
Yeah. Of course I've seen it. It's like a bubble. It's like a timed bubble, like the same
but
thing.
Standing on the flag so that nobody can cap it?
Yeah, they could totally just do it themselves, yeah.
Whoa, I haven't seen this happen. I do know that locks are tough for me to beat, dude. Ooh, man. Locks are tough. But, all right, sorry. Let's go.
Nothing scary to a warrior if you have a healer behind you. You can kill anybody, no problem.
Yeah, I just they can just keep healing through my stuns. That's why it makes it hard for me to beat them. But I can beat them with a healer if they don't have a healer. But that's still 2-on-1. 1v1, I have a lot of problems with them. But here, let's listen to the rest of it.
Get from Blackwing Lair. If you banish the Voidwalker, it means that you sacrifice the Voidwalker, it means that you completely become immune to damage. So you can just run with the flag for 15 seconds and no one can stop you. You can't be CC'd, there's nothing they can do. 15 seconds, just running straight. Now, if you had a fat potion on the end of that and maybe got a few heals or whatever, or then you just use Fell Domination and resummon your Voidwalker and then sacrifice it, for the shield or something like that. So I'm just saying that a bunch of stuff has got a bit messed up. I also hate Paladins in PvP. Who doesn't hate Paladins? You get them low, bubble, 12 seconds, can't do out. I guess I'm just whining, really. But what do you reckon people should do? How do you reckon things should get equalized? All right, bye.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they're probably going to be looking into those things, but that's interesting. I haven't done Warsong Gulch though either. I'm not a huge fan of Warsong Gulch. I really like Arathi Basin, so I've been doing that because, yeah, I've been just loving that, and I hadn't been able to play Arathi Basin all of Phase 4, so I haven't even checked out Warsong Gulch, but that sounds pretty bad. I'm sure they're trying to look into ways to, stop that behavior, but I don't know. I haven't heard.
There's like a few ways they can fix it, but I don't know how much they could change something to the point where it changed the class's fantasy. So, I mean, the lock I feel like is an easy fix. Instead of being immune to all damage in CC, you can just make it damage based. So maybe it's his health pool plus half or something like 150% or 100, whatever you guys seem is fair. Almost like an absorption you can eat through eventually.
Well, if he banishes himself, you just make it so he can't do damage out of the banish. I mean,
yeah, it's insane. Some of the tech with the Warlock right now, it is a little crazy. I'm kind of surprised not more people play Warlock because of how good it is. But
and if they sacrifice their pet, they can't do damage. Like, cuts off dots. I mean,
I've definitely played Warlock before. It does seem overwhelming at first, but as long as you know what does what and just read it. I mean, there's a lot of guides out there just to help people play Warlock better. So it's not difficult to get into. It just takes a little time, right?
Yeah, but I think they could stop these behaviors he described by just making it so if you self-banish or you sack your pet, you sack your Voidwalker, all of your damage becomes void at that point. Like it's basically, like you're in a bop, or something. But yeah.
I mean, even with Bob, you can hit it with spells. And I mean, the bubble thing, like we all hate paladins. We all hate fighting paladins. Like 5 paladins, blacksmith is like not fun for anyone. But I don't know, same thing, man. I mean, just make it like a bubble, make it like a damage threshold, or give priest mass dispel, or their dispel can dispel it. Like something would be nice, but
yeah, I think just like them being able to do damage with auras and stuff out, like while they're banished, that's where it's just like, okay, this is too much. But yeah, I don't know. I've never liked the fact that they turned into the demon thing forever. I never really liked that change at all. I think it should have just been like they turned into it for a short time as like a cooldown, and then that disappears. But
they actually took that concept from a game called Ascension. Wow. I don't know if you've ever played that, but
I didn't play it, but I definitely looked into it.
That was definitely a tank Warlock, the move. Like you would put meta or something on as an enchant and you would have it, and it would be a tank Warlock.
Yeah, paladins, the paladins horse charging and stuff. Well, Raspberrios, it's he's talking about how he can like paladins can run them down as a druid, but somebody needs to be able to run you guys down. I mean, we need somebody on the horde side that can run down druids, because I've never thought it was fair you guys could just swap, but it is also a lot of mana to swap back and forth. A lot of people don't get that. Like it's not, like feral druids aren't able to do that, as much as like, higher mana class ones are. That's why all the flag runners in Warsong Gulch are like the weird mid spec where, but they're wearing int gear, but
they shook that up a bit though, man. I feel like a lot of classes, they gave them gap closers, they gave them ways to catch up to someone.
Yeah. Warriors got the hook and stuff. And I still think Leap would have been better than
Shamans with the wolves. Like you can catch anybody with that.
Yeah. And then, like rogues got Shadow Step. There's a lot of gap closers. That is a good point. Well, yeah. Hopefully they get those fixed. I haven't heard about anything, but I'll be watching for those now to see if people are doing them in my games.
Got to do some war songs, man.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. All right. Well, let's move on to
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, so this week's discussion might be a little bit of a downer. I kept the happy stuff to the start, but this part might be a little bit of a downer for everybody. I'm sorry about that, but I have to keep it real. Everybody, calls me a Blizzard shield, but it really isn't the case. I just have really liked what they've done in SOD, but this podcast is going to be moving to every other week going forward. I don't know the future of it. I've been working really hard on my new podcast. Anybody who wants to check that out, it's all about the Chiefs. It's buckandbob.com, BUKNBOB.com. There's all the links to all the stuff there. I've been really enjoying that. It's a new market that I'm trying to jump into, and I'm really enjoying that. The Chiefs are in full swing right now, so I'm doing that a lot, but I'm kind of disenfranchised with the whole WoW community, WoW Classic community. Like, I really I've thought SOD has been the best thing that's happened to Classic. And I have this show where I bring on creators that talk about, the game, and so many creators, lots of my friends, like they have quit SOD lots in earlier phases, not giving it another chance afterwards. The whole, everybody's saying that SOD's dead, even though we've got 85,000 people raiding and a lot of people playing that aren't even raiding. And it's like, I'm tired of going to raid other streamers and, hearing everybody talk smack on SOD, and, I quit in phase 2. SOD's just too much of this and blah, 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 and just this whole narrative that's been going on. And everybody on the different games, I don't want to play retail. Like a lot of the creators have jumped to that. I don't do this podcast for monetization. Like, I do monetize it. I do make money off of it, but that's not why I do it. It's just, it feels dumb to not do it when you can. So, but I don't need to do this as a job. So I did it out of love, and I'm kind of falling out of love with just the constant shit talking and everybody jumping to different games and crapping on the other ones. And like, I always thought I was going to quit doing the podcast when Kata came out, and SOD just came out of nowhere at BlizzCon, and bam, I was just like, oh, we're back in it, baby, and I truly have enjoyed SOD, where it sounds like a lot of the creators have not. And I think it boils down to, it's a lot to learn, and people like having their cozy, I know everything about this game, and, I don't want to learn how the different interactions happen, whereas I find it fascinating, but few people do. Simon I seems to love it, and then there's on top of that, BlizzCon, man. So BlizzCon used to be like the thing that got at least me as a creator hyped up for the whole next year. And we dealt without it for years because of COVID. And then it finally came back last year, and man, it energized me. It got me going. And then like right now we should be heading to BlizzCon like next week, but we're not. And I mean, I kind of lose my fire, and, I could deal with it when we had COVID because you just had to, but now I'm just like, they canceled it, and I don't get to go see all of my friends and stuff. I did take a trip with Sarth and Jordy and Winky and, some others, Only Black Smoke. Hopefully I'm not forgetting any names, but I took a trip out to Seattle with them, but there's nothing like BlizzCon and being around hundreds of different creators and different, and thousands of people that love the thing you love. And it just gets you going and I think it gets the devs going too. Like, you should have seen, they were on fire the last BlizzCon, and that's gone now too. I'm really disenfranchised, with the community and the fact that I love SOD and so many people are shitting on it, and I just don't want to jump from stuff to stuff. And I don't know. I probably will play hardcore when the new servers come out, but that's gonna even further kill SOD, which sucks for me. And I don't know.
It might be like an era situation where you just raid log and until you're like kind of bored,
Well, I've got people who count on me to run the raid, and I'm gonna probably have to deal with people quitting then and going and doing the other stuff, and it's just
right. Like who's sticking out to the end, like who's gonna actually be there, because we can't raid if 5 people are gone. It's like a big chunk of the raid to fill, right?
Yep. And then you fill it, and then the culture changes in the raid, and we saw that when we went to 25. The people jacked around in the raid and didn't take it seriously, and there were new people that didn't listen, and there was all kinds of problems. And I'm just yeah, I don't know what else to say besides I'm really kind of bummed with the whole community right now. And I don't know, how are you feeling about SOD? I know you've had some thoughts about raiding, community, yada yada.
I mean, I really enjoy it. I'm kind of upset about the pug situation right now, but I mean, it is what it is.
What's going on with the pug situation?
It's just getting really toxic, man. There's just like a lot of chiefs and not enough Indian situation, and everybody has a fucking opinion, and it's we're just coming in there to clear the raid. Like no one cares that this that the third. I mean, people run the raid, they want to run the raid. If they're running it sloppy, I mean, you don't be a part of that community, don't be a part of that group. It's that simple. There's hundreds of other people out there that don't mind joining in a sloppy run or whatever. It's just I don't know. I've been pugging since phase 1, man, and the pugs progressively have gotten worse since the removal of GDKP, and a lot of people quit the game. A lot of that community quit the game. I feel like they should bring that back. That's the reason why Era is doing so well. People just like having tons of gold for some reason.
No, they just like the ease and the commitment of raiding in a GDKP where they're not when they required. Want. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people like that.
That's a lot of the charm in SOD too. I mean, any day of the week, any time of the day, I can create a group and have a decent run, or join someone's group. There's always groups going on, and that's the biggest take back from SOD that I try to tell my friends when I'm trying to tell them to log on and play. But there's no set schedule. You don't need one. You just if you want to raid with a group of people you like, then that's it. But if you just want to log on and just have a chance at this or that or the third, it's really easy to do.
Yeah, and you said so we're lucky we're in Swamp, and there's people on at all times to do different things, and it's very active. Whereas you said you joined a new guild, and pretty much everybody just raid logs, and they're never on unless it's raid time, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we are very fortunate with Swamp, because almost every guild that I've seen or been in or witnessed is like exactly that. They just raid log. They don't care about the extra content. They don't care about their PvP rank. They don't care about any of that. They just raid log because they're doing other things during the week, or playing other games, playing new freshes. Like I don't know what they're doing, but I'm assuming that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think Cataclysm, like lots of guilds, are the same way, and it just kind of takes you out of it, and you're kind of like, well, you go raid, and then right after raid, you just log out. Like, what's the point? Like, that's what I was doing in Cata, and I was just like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I doing this?
I remember when Phase 4 was launching, they were mentioning something like keystones or something like that, or like some kind of mythic or a dungeon plus or whatever, system. But I don't know. I guess they scratched that idea. Or do you know anything about that, Bob? Or?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. We're still supposed to get Karazhan crypts and stuff. I mean, but there's rumors that they're not even going to do the gates of AQ. They're just going to be open. That takes a whole lot of guild interactions down for doing the whole quest to get the mount and stuff, and it's just going to be if they just open, then it's just, we're going into raid. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I need something to spark some excitement in me, because I'm struggling here.
I agree with that. I feel like they're going to bring out a new PvP daily situation in Silithus, because there's already one there. So I feel like maybe they're going to do something like that. I don't know how much that would spark up the game. I feel like that's stupid to not give us the gates of Anchorage open. I know it's difficult. I know not everybody's going to have it, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's something to work towards. I mean, we'll still be out there farming logistics too, to get rep and all this stuff, and getting our Earth Strike or whatever you're trying to get, right?
Yeah, and will they change that up? Will they make that easier? They probably will. I mean, they probably will take out a lot of the huge grinds, but some of those, are epic, So
yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. That question is insane, and it's really cool. It takes you all over the place. It's like world bosses you have to do and all this stuff. It's really cool. It's a cool quest. Maybe making it a little more accessible would be cool. Or like, I think that's been the trend in SOD. It's like we're letting more people have the fun they never had or never could have in Classic.
Yep. Lots of people getting Thunder Fury, being able to get that a lot easier. And
Hand of Rags, like so many people have Hand of Rag on classes that always wanted it on a hand,
Yep. And even the PvP grind, I mean, the only gripe that I have with it is just the stop gaps, just like the fact that you can get hundreds of thousands of honor in a week and have it mean nothing. I'd just rather the bar move up as you do honor, instead of, why is there even a bar if you can't move it up?
Reset. Yeah, it's weird. They changed a lot, but they didn't change that, and then they changed the honor gain drastically, but they still haven't changed the system. So it's I agree with you. It's kind of tiresome, but I don't want to grind out 1 million honor in 1 week to like knock out a bunch of ranks. You know what I mean?
I think that's what we're gonna have to do to get rank 14. I think it's gonna be a mill. Like, I don't know. If just 30% to get to rank 13 is 333,000, I'm thinking it's going to be a mill. And it doesn't look like we can get anything past 13. So it's just base 13. And so that's going to be one hell of a week.
Yeah, they have to add something after that. That's what I mean. Like, why get all the gear if there's no reason to queue anymore?
Yep. And after that week of getting 1 million honor, I'm not going to want to play for fucking 5 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm going to be so sick of it. And it's going to take the fun right out of it. We saw it with, rank 14 grind in 2019 Classic. Almost everybody that I met that got it ended up just like taking a huge week's break off afterwards. It's just like, you just got the gear, but now you can use it. Now you can play the game. But it just wore them out. So not looking forward to that. I don't know, man. I'm pretty down at the moment, and I hate to do a show. That's why I'm moving this to every 2 weeks. I just hate to do a show where I'm negative, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying to be positive, and I just am failing. I'm having a good time raiding with everybody. Like, that hasn't changed, but
yeah. I mean, I get it, and it's easy to log on and be like, oh, the first week was way more active, and it's just like to like, oh, it's hard to find an enchant or something, you know, monotonous or like a summon or like, I get it. It's easy to complain. It's really easy to complain. And I've learned that just through life. But man,
Yep.
honestly,
And I
there's
don't
other
like doing it.
sides too to you know, to the game, right? I mean, there's other things you could be doing too, right? Like
Yeah, and I like to do them. I mean,
right? Like,
I'm lacking motivation at the moment, and you know, lots of it does. There's some personal reasons for it, you know, with the passing of my pup, but there's a lot of other reasons too, and just I don't know. I don't know what to do. Guys in the comments, you know, voicemails. Give me some ideas of stuff that they could do to spice it up, or, you know, how can we change the narrative? I don't think we can change the narrative because so many content creators are just repeating the same things verbatim, just in an echo chamber, and everybody's just saying Sod sucks, and then it's bumming me out, man. And I'm just,
it sounds like they just want to kill the game because they're not having fun. And I don't know what their version of fun is, but like just from the outside looking in, I don't stream, I don't any of that. It just seems like they're salty about something.
yeah, or it's
and that sounds like a personal issue. If you guys want to follow someone who's like very personal driven, that's up to you guys, you know. But like I said earlier in the podcast, play what you like, play what you have fun in, you know.
Yeah, and it's not their fault. I could see, you know, if somebody quit in phase 2, especially a creator, do they really want to jump back in and try to figure out everything? It's I mean, it's a lot. I talked about this, you know, SOD, how, you know, confusing and complicated SOD is for people starting new, and, you know, people coming back, and I get it, you know, and hardcore is just more fun for audiences to watch, you know. It's really good streaming content, and, you know, that's what a streamer is going to want to do, you know. And then, you know, you have people like Shobek who are really good at classic PvP rogue, right? Well, he doesn't want to jump back into SOD and, you know, lose a bunch of duels and stuff. You know what I mean? It's so, I get it. I just hate it all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it like what is going to give them more views too, right? There's no way they're not doing that if they're trying to like maximize their capita. Like, there's no fucking way. They're just doing it because they don't like it, right? The whole sod bashing thing, that's been a thing, man. People have been doing that since phase 2, and this game's still healthy. People still play it. So I don't know why it would change anything, but it has.
Yeah, most likely the next episode in 2 weeks won't even really talk much about SOD. I'm probably just going to get guests that want to talk about hardcore because, you know, that's what everybody wants to talk about. And, you know, I'm into hardcore. I love hardcore. So I'm going to check it out. Maybe, you know, with whatever's happening in November, it's going to spark. But I'm really just bummed out about what has happened to SOD, and it just got me not really excited to do the podcast. That's kind of where I'm at. And sorry to end this on a bummer note, guys, but it's just, I'm bummed. That's all I can say. And yeah,
but you have every right to feel whatever you feel, man. You know.
Yeah. It's just people like the podcast, and I hate, you know, letting people down, but I've got to keep it to where I can be positive and constructive, and I don't like complaining, and I don't want to be that guy complaining. And so we'll just, you know, see, I'm hoping for good things on the horizon. I was trying to see if I could get into OnlyFans, but I don't know how to get a hold of anybody to do that. And I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Jay Tulo's in chat. So love to have him as the next guest in 2 weeks and get, somebody else, and maybe we'll talk hardcore. Maybe I'll go back and get that level 58 warrior to 260 and have a third level 60 under my belt. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But got any last thoughts there before we end out here?
No, I'm interested to see what the game comes out with. I really want to see what they're going to do with Mythic Plus and or not Mythic Plus, sorry, Classic Plus and Hardcore. Man, I would still watch videos and see what people are doing. People dying in Hardcore is probably one of the best, funniest contents I've seen out there. So,
yep. I miss Wiki's F's in chat. That was always fun when they would go over the videos and talk about what they did wrong or what they could have done, in the moment. But that's what makes it so exciting, is because so many people don't think of what they could have done in the moment, and then they're like, "Oh, I should have done this, this, and this." But
yeah, what not to do. Episode 33.
All right, well, guys, that's going to end us out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. If you want to send us an email, get any of our links, join the Discord, just go to warcraftreloaded.com, and yeah, it's gonna end out the show for today. Gribble, you don't stream or anything, right? There's no place they can really find you.
No sir. I just play the game for enjoyment when I have off time. Nice.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Blazzin_Bob. It's BLAZZIN_BOB. And guys, if you're into the Chiefs or into anybody that's going to be playing the Chiefs this season, maybe you just tune in for episodes, where we're talking about your team and the Chiefs. But it's buckandbob.com, BUKNBOB.com. I'm trying to get that off the ground. Help us out. Give us a sub on YouTube. Give us a like or a review on iTunes and Spotify. Yeah, help us out. And that's gonna be it, man. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and hopefully I've gotten out of my rut, because I feel weird not being Mr. Positive. Bye, guys. You're supposed to say bye, Gribble.
Oh, later, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and Bob, thank you so much for letting me in the podcast, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for. Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.